What's going on, Mason? What's going on, George Mason University? What's up, George Mason University? What's going on, George Mason University? We're back. Superbowl! David Bernard.
I'm Perry Buckley.
Lindsay Hokinson.
And I'm DeMonte Shaw.
We're back. What's going on, George Mason University? Welcome back inside the press box. I'm David Bernard.
I'm Perry Buckley.
DeMonte Shaw.
And I'm Tyler Byram.
And we missed y'all. We hope y'all missed us too. We're back right here in the press box where it belongs. And what do you guys do over winter break? You know, how's your winter break? Was it good? Good.
Yeah, it was very relaxing. I forgot what I did.
Is that relaxing?
Back to me.
I worked all over break. Somehow I was able to catch every single George Mason basketball game, though. I wasn't. I mean, if I didn't catch them, though, I wouldn't be missing much. After what the winter break stretch that the team went through.
It was a rough stretch.
There's some sad nights watching those games.
Yeah.
Crying myself to bed a couple times. I will admit.
Heartbreak, man.
Well,
I remember. I went to my grandma's house.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. How's she doing?
She's doing well.
That's good.
Still loving and caring.
Still making fun of you?
Yeah, a little bit. Aren't they all?
You gotta love the grandparents, so that's good though. That's good. It's good that you remembered.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just had to think about it, Thinking cap on.
I mean, my break was pretty chill. I just caught up with friends and family, reconnected with some old friends. So
That's good.
pretty relaxing, pretty chill.
It's good. Break was relaxing for me too. Went to Atlantic City over the New Year's. Went to some casinos. It was good. It was good. I gotta talk about how much I won or lost.
What happened in AC stays in AC?
My break.
Tornadoes, hurricanes.
Moving on. We hope that you guys had a wonderful break as well. We all did, whether we remembered it or not. But yeah, Tyler mentioned this the tough stretch over the break for our men's basketball team.
Yeah, tough stretch. That's just.
We will leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
Okay, I like that.
I like that. Yes. But we have, going into A10 play even further. Hopefully we turn it around.
Yeah.
We need to. And we'll leave it at that. So, of course, over the break, we've had the end of the football season. We've had the playoffs, some remarkable games. And now we're down to final two. We've got the Super Bowl matchup between the Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos. Been a while since we've had the top two teams in each conference play each other in the biggest game of the year. But that's what we have now. And so, I guess, what are we looking forward to, what are we looking forward to the matchup? What do we think about the matchup? Of course, this whole week we've heard nothing but Richard Sherman talk.
Yeah.
So, for better or for worse. So, I guess let's just dive in for a little bit and just share thoughts on the big game coming up.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to, of course, seeing Richard Sherman play and their whole secondary in Seattle.
Boom.
Yeah, man.
LOB.
Just seeing them matched up with the high-powered Denver offense. It's, like you said, it's the first time in a while. It's been the number one offense versus number one defense. And so I'm excited to see that. I think they would just need to leave Richard Sherman alone, but,
I agree.
he's a good dude. I mean,
we agree on that.
yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how they match up because I'm a firm believer that defense wins championships. So I think Seattle's going to pull it out, but, let's just
find out, yeah.
One thing for me is that, yes, number one offense, yes, number one defense. But the thing is that the Seahawks have never had to rely on their offense.
Mm-hmm.
I trust Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch. I know both of them can get it done, but Russell Wilson hadn't had to prove himself in the playoffs or at the end of games because his defense has been there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the most intriguing matchup would be the Seahawks offense versus the Broncos defense. Because the Broncos defense...
Stole my matchup.
Broncos defense is pretty good.
Yeah.
Talking about that all week.
And, I think Russell Wilson can get it done, but it's just... Now he's going to have to prove it because Peyton's going to score. I know the Seahawks
are
they are going to slow down the offense, maybe not score as much. but the Seahawks are still going to have to score. And the Broncos' defense is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
definitely
been good ever
better.
since Tebow, and that's how Tebow got here.
Your man.
So, for me, that's going to be it, and Russell Wilson is actually going to step up and prove that he is a Super Bowl caliber quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely with that matchup. If you look at the Patriots-Broncos game, the Broncos controlled both sides of the ball. They left a lot of points on the board. It should have been a blowout, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how they performed against terrific Tom, your buddy there. But
Yeah.
and they did really well, and they've been stopping the run, and which is what Seattle relies on. So it's ball's going to be in Russell Wilson's hands to make some big plays. And so far in the playoffs, he's made enough plays to get the wins, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up with Peyton and the Broncos.
Right.
He's been like Alex Smith, in my opinion. He's been getting the job done. Hasn't been flashy, but he gets the job done.
Yeah.
And
managing the situation, managing the game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of go off what you guys said. I think also they mentioned a point when the Seahawks play the 49ers of how Seattle goes about when they play defense before the snap, and that they don't really disguise a lot of things. They kind of just match up. What you see is what you get. So what you get before the snap, that's what it's going to be. And we know Peyton's the ultimate. I mean,
Omaha.
Omaha. Peyton would break down everything.
Yeah.
He see whatever's there. He's gonna adjust to what he likes, to his matchings, to his liking. So I think it'll be interesting to see if Seattle does anything differently. Do they start this? I mean, all season they haven't, so I don't think they're changing now. But do they start disguising things, trying to confuse Peyton a little bit, or play straight up and just let their guys go man to man and see what happens? So I think it's going to be interesting for that. Also, since we're on the topic of Peyton, it's, of course, a lot of people say he might arguably be the greatest regular season quarterback ever, but his playoff record of 11-11, 1 Super Bowl win, 1 Super Bowl loss. So what does this game do to his legacy? If he loses, does this hurt his legacy even more? If he wins, does this kind of leapfrog him above or put him in the category of Joe Montana, 4-for-4 in his Super Bowl appearances? What do we think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't know. I guess because being kind of young, like, I see Peyton as, like, the end-all, be-all of quarterbacks, of my time. So for me, personally, I don't think it'll affect his legacy in my eyes. I feel like he's still been one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game. I mean, granted, yeah, people, it's all about winning championships, but, I mean, he's got one. He's been there. He's going to be there. So, I mean, I don't know. For me, I just feel like he's done enough already, because there are a lot of great quarterbacks who only have one championship.
Mm-hmm.
Some that have
Some
none.
don't have none.
Yeah.
Dan Marino doesn't have a ring.
Exactly. So I think he's done more than enough to solidify his legacy.
Yeah. I think it'll determine, whoever wins, because one thing that Giant fans, you just hear all the time, like, oh, well, Eli has more rings than Peyton.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if Peyton loses this one, it's just like, I think that's what people are going to, those whispers and rumors and what people are just saying is going to creep up a little bit more, like, oh, Eli has 2 rings.
Yep.
And Peyton
Yes.
has. Even though, in my opinion, I still think Peyton's the better quarterback. I think, I won't say the greatest of all time, because I never saw Montana and Marino, and never saw them playing in their prime.
Right.
But definitely
One of the top.
Yeah,
5,
of our
10.
time.
Yeah, of our time
definitely,
especially.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if he wins, just solidify it, and everyone's like, okay, world's back in order.
Mhm.
But if he doesn't, then there's Giant
keep
fans,
talking.
there's other people.
Yeah.
Eli has 2. Peyton
Yeah.
only has 1.
Yeah.
So-
I think if it wasn't for his brother, people wouldn't be saying that, and there wouldn't be so much pressure on him to win another championship. Like you said, he's an automatic shoe-in Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
Whether he wins this or loses this, I don't really think it affects him all that much. But I don't know if you heard or not. Actually, Eli said he was going to give him some pointers on playing in New York.
Eli even paid pointers.
He even has more
Just
of a
close your
leg
eyes
up.
and check it out and see what happens.
I don't know if I take advice from you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you guys on exactly what you said also. I think Payne's one of the greatest quarterbacks, definitely of our generation, and one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, regardless of what happens Sunday, next Sunday in Super Bowl. whatever happens, he's going to be one of the greatest. You know, I don't think it's not going to tarnish his legacy at all. And I mean, of course, winning would definitely help to boost his everything else that he's accomplished in his career. But just like you said, Tyler, you're definitely going to hear the rumblings if he loses. You know, Payne's 1-2 in the Super Bowl, and Eli has 2 rings. Payne still has 1, and you know he couldn't get the job done in a big moment. You know, all those talks are always going to come up, and just like you said, whether it's ignorance, but it's gonna be there. It's gonna be there. People are gonna talk because people want to. They like to hear themselves talk, whether you want to hear them or not.
I feel like at the end of the day, I don't want to be like downgrading people, but like any smart sports fan will look at his career and say Peyton was great, and he's way better than Eli. I feel like the only people he's gonna have to worry about, you know, those Twitter trash talkers and you know people sitting around all day is just like,
everybody can
As
talk
Richard
about
Sherman
it.
said, writers who sit behind a computer all day.
Yeah.
Think about what they have to say.
Exactly.
Who are just looking at numbers instead of looking at, you know, the whole
The body
spectrum.
of work we're looking at.
Yeah.
One thing I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet, surprisingly, and I know it's going to, is the one Super Bowl that's going to be outdoors and cold weather. Peyton Manning's
Peyton Manning in cold weather.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't agree that Peyton Manning's a bad cold weather
Yeah.
player, because I mean, he plays in Denver, crying out loud.
Exactly. Exactly.
But I just haven't heard that come up on ESPN, NFL Network. No one said anything about it.
Yeah.
He probably proved himself in the
After-
last game and game since, but still, it's just,
yeah.
it's going to come. It's coming.
Yeah, we got a whole week left. Got media day next week, so I definitely agree with you. It's bound to come up. Some reporter is going to ask that question. Hey, Peyton, you know, how do you think you're going to do in, you know, sub 30-degree temperature?
Snow.
Yeah. Like he hasn't played in it before, but just like you said, people are always going to find something to talk. You know, they got to find something to criticize them about, or to criticize anybody about. So, I guess if you don't have haters, I guess you're not doing something right.
Yeah, as long as they're making noise.
Yeah.
That's all that should matter.
Yeah. So, predictions. I know you already said you're going to Seattle.
Yeah. Roll Seattle.
I don't think it works. But it's not the tie, so I don't think it.
Seattle.
I think that's.
Seattle.
Have you
What did
forgot?
I do? Oh!
Okay.
I think it's going to be very similar to the NFC Championship. I think it's going to come down to, I think Russell Wilson's going to do his job, and it's going to come down to the defense versus the offense. Even though it's going to be made with the Seattle offense and the Denver defense,
Mhm.
but if both sides can hold up, I think it's going to come down to Peyton driving down the field and poetic justice a throw in the area of Richard Sherman and see what happens.
Yeah. How great would that be? How great would that be? Final play of the game. Peyton Manning's driving the team down, and he throws to Richard Sherman's side. And see
The one time in the entire game.
entire game. See if Sherman can.
And then the lights go out
Everybody
and please. We'll see what happens.
You see nothing.
That'd be
but you hear
awesome.
Richard
I
Sherman.
But yeah, Seahawks, I think.
Okay.
We're going to get it.
All right.
Okay. I'm going to disagree with you both and go with the Broncos. I think that Peyton is going to make too many big plays on their defense, and Russell's not going to be able to keep up.
This is tough for me. This is tough. Probably throughout the whole week, not like anybody probably cares, but throughout the whole week, I probably flip-flop about 50 times. It's a lot. It's a
So
lot.
we got the flip-flop right here. Anybody got a coin?
For real, do you though?
No, I don't, unfortunately. I don't carry big bills.
Okay.
Let's see.
Steady
We can
bucks.
flip this? No. Okay. I'm going with the Seahawks as of right now. That'll probably change, but I'm going with the Seahawks also. I think.
Any particular reason why?
Yes, now that you ask. Actually, no. But nah. I think it's gonna. I think coming down to the stretch, I think Seattle's defense just might make that one play, whether it be turnover, get that turnover that will enable them to win the game. I think it's going to come down to that. I think they're going to prove why their defense, and that secondary in general, is probably regarded as one of the best secondaries out there or ever. So I think I'm going to Seattle and on defensive play, whether it be Sherman or Chancellor or somebody else.
Anybody.
But yeah.
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 And
You got a stat?
Matt says RG3 will be great. I don't know if he realized that they're not in the Super Bowl, but yeah.
I don't know if we're ever gonna get there. Anyways, this is another topic for another day. All-Star, NBA All-Star, transitioning over. The All-Star starters just came out. We're gonna first start with the Western Conference. The Western Conference, we have Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, believe it or not. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Kevin Durant, of course, Kevin Love, Blake Griffin for the Western Conference. In the East, have an interesting lineup. We have Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, and Paul George. So
Remember them all.
yeah, I didn't think I was. So those are starters. There's a lot to break down here. It's snubs, guys making it in that haven't played since November 1st, it seems. D-Rose probably like, how come I? Anyways, so what do we think about the starters? This
Let's go West or East first.
Let's do West. We'll start there. We have guys that didn't make it in that probably should have.
Yeah.
Guys that made it in that shouldn't have. I know Tyler, you mentioned, and we talked about it right before we came on air. Kobe Bryant making it in, and just how all these are just popularity contests now. Kobe's played a handful of games at best. I don't.
6, I think.
Yeah, 6 games, and he made the All-Star. And you have all these other guys in the Western Conference that have, they've played throughout the whole season. They've been in their game in and game out. I'm not saying it's Kobe's fault they got injured, but he's injured.
Oh, they got voted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He never really got voted either. But I think us as fans, it's one thing like, okay, yeah, we know Kobe Bryant. We know he's a popular guy. But as fans of the game, I think we need to reward those players that play at all-star level to be voted in the game. Even if that means voting in somebody new, whether it's their first time. I think that we need that needs to happen. We can't just vote on somebody just because of their popularity.
Yeah, I mean, I could name a million guards that should have gotten in over Kobe. I mean, you got James Harden, who's leading the Rockets and everything that he can. I mean, you got Lillard in Portland, who could have been there. You got Tony Parker. I mean, the list goes on. But somehow Kobe ended up, I mean, is he even going to play? Like, he's not even going to be good to go.
He said he's not going to play.
Why even, like, as a fan, why even waste a vote on a starter who's not even going to play? So it's just going to be the reserve anyway. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. That's my biggest issue.
Yeah. Besides that, I'm glad Stephen Curry made it. I mean, he deserved it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I won't say I was surprised when they said he got this, became a starter, but I was just more like relieved that he actually got it because of anyone in the Western Conference, at least, he deserved it.
Yeah.
Probably just as much as anybody else. I mean, he carries Golden State.
Oh, yeah.
And absolutely phenomenal sharpshooter.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I was happy that him and Kevin Love made it because Kevin Love is such a workhorse, and he's been same with Steph. He's been carrying his team. Doesn't have all that much talent over there, but he's been putting up huge numbers as he always does.
Yeah, and I think just to say same thing with you guys. I'm glad those guys made it, especially Steph Curry. Especially after last year when he got snubbed. Of course, last year was competitive. Anybody could have gone either way, but I feel he played well last year. And it was great to see that he got that nod this year, especially over Chris Paul. I mean, I love Chris Paul. I love CP3. But being injured for the last few weeks, from last month or so, excuse me, Steph Curry definitely deserved it. So there's guys that made it in. There's guys that didn't get voted in as starters. 2 guys that come to my mind in particular, Dwight Howard, LaMarcus Aldridge. Some could be saying Aldridge is having an MVP-like season over there in Portland and what they're doing this year. Yeah. What do we think about that? I mean, I think with snubs, every year somebody's going to get snubbed because there's just so many spots and there's only so little spots and more players in it. So, I mean, yeah, what do we think about that? In particular, Dwight getting snubbed, LaMarcus Aldridge. I mean, who do you take out, though, if you...
I mean, I think as far as Dwight goes, I think he's still trying to break out of this bad guy reputation, this cloud that's still over him with how everything went with Orlando and LA. So I think people are still salty about that, still holding a little grudge over that, even though I think he deserved to get in. And as far as LaMarcus, he's just not in a big market, on a big market team.
Yeah.
I mean, his name's not out there. He seems like a great guy, but he's not that marketable. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a lot of these guys have made a name for themselves, with their personalities and more than just their play on the court. Like, they're marketable guys. And
Good point.
LaMarcus is just kind of like quiet, like get the job done, which is great.
Is there something wrong with
No,
that?
like I love it. Like I love it.
You're saying that's like it's a bad
I
thing.
know, but as far as all-star votes and getting to play on that, you're gonna be around a while without getting in.
True fans would know the game.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the same thing. Like he's in Portland, and you're competing against LA.
Yeah, bigger
And-
markets.
Yeah, so of course people are going to vote for Kobe Bryant before they vote for Arledge. Even because I know as a fan, like when it comes to Pro Bowl voting for my team, the Cowboys, it's like okay, Adrian Peterson did good, but DeMarco Murray's a Cowboy, so I'll give both these guys a vote.
Yeah.
So everyone on the Cowboys get a vote, and then other players that I think deserve it will get one too. But also with the Dwight Howard thing, it's just like the Lakers. Yes, they're in LA, but they're everywhere, and I don't know a single
Or
Lakers fan.
international.
Yeah. I don't know a single Lakers fan that is happy with Dwight Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think any Laker fan in the entire country world would vote for him to make the All-Star. And yes, it may be unfair, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
He pissed off the largest fan base of the entire country when it comes to basketball.
That's what happens.
And that's that's part of the reason why he's not there, because he took half of the fans' votes away.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Good point. So let's go over to the Eastern Conference, the Leastern Conference, whatever you want to call it. It seems like you have the Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat as the starters, pretty much.
That's what it should be.
Right, though. But of course, Kyrie Irving made it. Props to him for making it. So let's dive into the Eastern Conference. Snubs, if any.
I think Hibbert. I don't know. I guess I look at a roster. I'm like, I want to see every position filled with that person, that position.
The traditional
Yeah.
style.
We're also saying snubs, but these are only starters.
Yeah.
The reserves have not been
Reserves are
set
still
yet.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reserves are still coming.
So they're not actual snubs,
Yeah.
just snubs from the starting lineup.
Yeah.
just to
Yeah.
clarify.
Exactly.
I still think Hibbert should be a starter though. I think you should have a big man in there, starting.
Over who?
Carmelo.
D Wade.
I'm tired of seeing Carmelo. He's a bum, okay?
Is this another rant?
Everybody's back away.
Why do you feel that way?
I'm just tired of watching him play. I'm tired of turning on SportsCenter and they did a little ISO and he's down there spinning like a ballerina and he's got Shumpert, he's got JR open and he's just down there. I'm tired of seeing that. I'm tired of him.
There's on the bench.
Just
He's not on the bench, he's not playing.
I'm just I don't know. His playing, I don't know what it is. I'm just tired of seeing Carmelo. And honestly, I'm a Heat fan, but D Wade and his knees shouldn't have been voted in the starting lineup. So
John Wall.
yeah, John Wall would have been.
But it's all right. You're still making, man. You're representing the Wizards. It's all good.
I don't think D Wade's gonna even start in the All-Star game either.
That's
He's
a good
gonna-
point, yeah.
You know what? I've been in like 10 of these,
Right?
so I can
Well,
take this one
he's
off.
gonna rest his knees.
Yeah.
One person though that I don't think should be a starter, but maybe a surprise to some people when it comes to reserves is DeMar DeRozan in
Yep.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Canada's fallen in love with the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
What is it? Their only team? Yeah, it's their only team, I think. Yeah, it's their only team.
Mhm.
So obviously everyone in Canada loves Toronto, and he's carrying their team there. One game above 500, but
Yep.
in the East,
In
that's
the
good
East,
enough
that's
for
good enough
fifth
for-
place.
Yeah.
So
Sadly enough.
or fourth, I
Sadly
think
enough.
it's fourth even.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to make it. A lot of people are going to be shocked why he made it, but he'll be very deserving. So, and
Mhm.
also congrats to Kyrie for
Yeah.
making it.
Yeah.
He
Congratulations.
deserves it, even though his team is not doing that great.
Down there.
Yeah.
I think they'll make a run and make the playoffs, especially with how the East is turning out right now.
Maybe get the 8th or 7th seed and lose to the Pacers.
Yeah,
or
once
Heat.
Brooklyn starts getting out of the 7th and 8th spot and moves on,
Yeah.
kick down Washington and some other teams.
Mhm.
It's fine though because royalty is coming back to Cleveland. So
Okay.
We're not gonna
That's
start
another day.
this.
That's
That's
another
another
day.
topic for another time. Free agency is nowhere near right now.
That's a 3-hour rant we'll go on.
Yeah, we got a whole half of the season to go. Not touching that at all.
Throwing chairs.
The decision part 2. Stay tuned. But of course, just as Perry said, these are the starters. So when we mention snubs, we're referring to snubs as in starters. Of course, guys like Dwight Howard and LaMarcus Aldridge still make their team as reserves. They'll be on the All-Star team. Hopefully, yeah, we'll see.
Otherwise, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
But speaking of since we're just finished up with the All-Star festivities, we have dunk contest, we have the 3-point contest, we have all those other stuff. Do we feel the dunk contest still has its luster? I guess I don't know what word I'm looking for, but do we still feel? I mean, they're trying to get Paul George to be an All-Star to be in the dunk contest this year after his crazy Vince Carter-like 360 windmill dunk, which was amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out, YouTube it. Or matter of fact, it's on the Pressbox page. I'm gonna put it up. Like us on Facebook, the Pressbox, or follow us at JMU Pressbox. Yeah, that's a plug. So, I mean, what do we think about those events? Do we think they still? I mean, they always talk about doing some type of retweaking to it or some type of change to it to make it more entertaining. I mean, do we, as fans of the game, what do we look forward to most for All-Star Weekend? Sometimes it used to be the dunk contest, more so than the All-Star game.
I look forward to most the rookie sophomore game.
Mhm.
That game, you get to showcase some young talent. You get to see a couple names that maybe you don't see all the time. They're not, big markets. Not always televised. So you get to see a lot of young talent, and plus all it is alley-oops, dunks, and 3-pointers. So who doesn't like that? But as for the losing of the luster, I definitely believe that the dunk contest has absolutely lost it. Every year I used to get so hyped for it, and I still do. I don't know why. And then every year I'm let down, and when it ends, I'm like, that was it?
You want more.
That was it?
We want more. We want more.
It seems that they're trying to make it like a show, like a production,
Like
with
a
all this,
WWE,
all this
Yeah.
all this off the court stuff, bringing in cars and turning the lights off and all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, just stick to dunks, stick to crazy dunks.
They're raw talent.
Yeah, but it's been disappointing.
I think for the dunk contest, 2 shots. You get 2 chances. You don't get the 10 chances like you do, which is because that's one thing too. It's like people don't watch the dunk contest. They watch the highlights of the
Yep.
dunk contest, and they watch all the dunks that are completed, and it
Yeah.
makes it seem like it's only 30 minutes worth of dunks, when actually, what is it, 2.5 hour
Yeah,
long
but all
thing.
the
Like
misses
I
and
know
all
myself, it's last dunk contest I watched live was when it was Amari Sotomayor and Steve Nash. And
Oh
Steve
my
Nash.
gosh. Wow.
That's the last one I've watched,
Yeah.
like live, and it's just. But yeah, they get too many shots, and finally on the 10th time they get it right magically, and it's like
Yeah.
dunk contest. I mean, like
yeah.
you aren't dunking over a car in a real game.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
what? And he didn't dunk over a car. He jumped over the
The
hood
hood
of the
of the
car.
car.
Thank you very much.
So, but I mean, 3-point contest. I mean, if you like 3-pointers, I mean, it's good seeing those guys out there. Like you said, the rookie sophomore game. That one's always fun to watch. Celebrity game.
Kevin
They
Hart.
still do that. Yeah, they
Put
still
it back
do
for
that.
good. Come back for a 3rd time. Try to defend his crown.
I'm looking forward to seeing Kendrick Perkins in the skills challenge.
Yeah, okay.
The way he's been bringing the ball up the court, I think he deserves the spot, at least for entertainment value.
Yo, JaVale McGee.
I mean,
we need you back, man.
The
We need
way
you back
he's
in the dunk
getting,
contest.
it wouldn't surprise me if they threw in a gimmick like, oh, let's watch the centers try the skills challenge and see who's the best skillful
I
center.
actually might watch that.
Bring back Shaq.
Imagine.
I would absolutely watch
I would
that.
watch that. I watch that. I mean, can you imagine like throwing in Perk like you said, and throwing in JaVale McGee?
Oh,
Maybe
God.
taking somebody's
God.
ACL or something.
Oh, gosh.
Yo, I might actually
Dwight
watch
Howard.
that. Dwight Howard
Yeah.
in it.
Blake, because he
Yeah.
has his moments where he thinks he's a point guard. It's just like,
Yep, trying to go coast to coast.
Stay in your lane.
I might actually watch that. We might need to suggest
Might
that
have
to
to
the
send
NBA.
that
We send a
in.
little
Yeah.
email.
It's funny seeing that, like, see the same exact thing in the rack where you see, like, oh, I'm fast, and they go coast to coast, and they just straight out of bounds.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really? Give him the
It's like, come on,
panic.
man. But of course, George Mason, thank you for joining us. Of course, we touched up on Super Bowl, touched up on All Star. We're going to touch up on All Star again. Next time, we're going to touch up on some more Super Bowl talk, dissect the game and what went down. We're going to see what happens. So definitely stay tuned. Definitely stay tuned for. Got some contests coming up, some contests and giveaways. So I'm going to make sure you keep out for that. Stay on the lookout. Be on the lookout. But as always, Veda Bernard.
I'm Perry Buckley.
DeMonte Shaw.
Tyler Byron.
And as always, George Mason University. Press on.